Hello everyone. I hope you are doing well today. This video is suitable for B1 English listening level. If you want to watch videos at a different level, you can leave this video and check the other playlists on our channel. Today, we chose an interesting and popular topic for you. We will talk about the hidden personality traits of a Leo woman. This video will help you practice English and also understand people better. Your support is very important to us. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Now, if you are ready, let's begin. Enjoy listening.
She looks confident, but she is emotionally very sensitive. At first sight, a Leo woman looks confident, strong, and sure of herself. She often walks into a room with her head high. She speaks clearly. She smiles easily. Many people think she is emotionally untouchable, but this is one of the biggest misunderstandings about a Leo woman. Inside, she is extremely sensitive. She feels emotions deeply and personally. When someone gives her feedback, even polite feedback, she does not just hear the words. She feels the tone, the energy, and the intention behind them. A small comment can stay in her mind for hours or even days. In daily life, this sensitivity often appears at work. For example, a Leo woman may lead a project successfully. Her boss thanks her, but also says one small thing could be improved. Outwardly, she accepts it calmly. She may even say, "That's a good point." But later, when she is alone, she thinks about that comment again and again. She asks herself if she disappointed someone. In friendships, this sensitivity shows in different ways. She remembers birthdays, emotional moments, and personal stories. When a friend forgets something important to her, she feels hurt, even if she does not show it. She may laugh and change the subject, but inside she feels unseen. In romantic relationships, her emotional world becomes even deeper. A Leo woman gives a lot of emotional energy to the person she loves. She supports, encourages, and protects. She wants her partner to feel proud, safe, and valued. But because she looks strong, her emotional needs are sometimes ignored. This creates silent disappointment. Another daily example is social media or public opinion. A Leo woman may receive many positive reactions, but one negative comment can affect her mood. She may act like she does not care, but she does. Not because she is weak, but because she cares deeply about meaning and connection. This sensitivity also explains why she reacts strongly to disrespect. Disrespect is not just rude to her, it feels personal. She may forgive slowly, or not at all, if she feels emotionally betrayed. However, this emotional depth is also her strength. It allows her to understand people better. It helps her connect deeply. It makes her loyal, passionate, and emotionally intelligent. A Leo woman is not strong because she feels less. She is strong because she feels more and still stands tall. She enjoys attention, but she also needs quiet time alone. Many people believe a Leo woman always wants to be surrounded by people. They see her social side, they see her laugh, her stories, and her presence in group settings. Yes, she enjoys attention. She enjoys being seen, appreciated, and valued. But what most people do not realize is that a Leo woman also needs silence. After spending time with others, especially when she plays a leading or supportive role, she feels emotionally tired, not in a negative way, but in a deep, quiet way. Her energy goes outward, and she needs time to bring it back. For example, after a long day at work where she talks, leads, and helps others, she may go home and turn everything off. She may sit quietly, watch something calm, or simply think. This is not loneliness, it is recovery. In friendships, this is sometimes misunderstood. Friends may think she is distant or cold when she does not answer messages quickly. In reality, she is recharging. Once she feels balanced again, she returns with warmth and generosity. In romantic relationships, this need for space can create confusion. Her partner may think, "She was so warm yesterday, why is she quiet today?" But the truth is simple. She needs emotional breathing space. A Leo woman uses her quiet time to reflect. She thinks about her goals, her values, and her direction in life. This inner reflection helps her stay confident in public. Another example is during emotional stress. When something hurts her deeply, she often withdraws instead of reacting immediately. Silence helps her process emotions. She prefers to understand her feelings before expressing them. This balance between attention and solitude is very important. If she does not get enough quiet time, she becomes emotionally drained. If her need for space is respected, she becomes even more loving and present. People who understand this side of her build stronger connections with her. They learn that her silence is not distance. It is preparation. A Leo woman shines in public because she rests in private. She is highly ambitious and strongly dislikes losing. A Leo woman is naturally ambitious. This ambition does not always come from money or status. Very often, it comes from a deep inner need to prove herself, both to others and to herself. She wants to feel proud of what she does. She wants to feel successful, visible, and respected. From a young age, many Leo women show this trait in simple ways. At school, she may want to be the best student, the most creative one, or the one teachers remember. She does not like to be average. Even when she does not speak about her goals openly, they are always there in her mind. In daily work life, this ambition becomes very clear. A Leo woman often works harder than people expect. She takes responsibility naturally and wants to be trusted. If there is a chance to lead a project, she usually steps forward. She feels uncomfortable when she feels invisible or underestimated. For her, effort must lead to recognition. This is why losing is very difficult for her. Losing does not only mean failing a task, it feels like losing value. For example, in a simple office competition or even a friendly challenge, she wants to win. If she does not win, she may smile and act calm, but inside she feels frustrated. She replays the situation in her mind and thinks about what she could have done better. In games, sports, or debates, this side of her becomes very visible. She hates feeling defeated, especially if she believes she deserved better. In relationships, this dislike of losing appears in emotional situations. She does not like to feel rejected, ignored, or replaced. If a relationship ends or does not go the way she wants, she may feel it as a personal failure. This can make her hold on longer than she should, just to prove that she can win the relationship. Sometimes, she competes silently with others. She compares herself to friends, colleagues, or even strangers. This comparison is not always negative, but it can create pressure. She wants to be admired, and when someone else receives that attention, she may feel uncomfortable. However, her ambition is not cruel. She does not want to destroy others. She wants to rise herself. When she wins, she feels alive. When she loses, she feels challenged. This is why she often comes back stronger after failure. She learns, adapts, and tries again. Over time, a Leo woman learns that not every loss is a defeat. Some losses teach her patience, some teach her humility, but this lesson usually comes later in life. When she is younger, ambition and competition are strong forces in her personality. If guided well, this ambition becomes one of her greatest strengths. It pushes her to grow, to lead, and to inspire others. A Leo woman may hate losing, but this same fire is what makes her unforgettable when she succeeds. She hates losing and finds it very hard to admit defeat. A Leo woman does not easily accept losing, especially when she believes she is right. For her, losing is not only about the result, it is about pride, self-image, and how others see her. When she enters a discussion, a game, or even a simple decision-making moment, she wants to feel strong and confident. If she feels defeated, it touches her ego deeply. In daily conversations, this can appear in small but clear ways. For example, during a discussion with friends, she may strongly defend her opinion. Even if she starts to realize she might be wrong, she continues to argue. This is not because she wants to hurt others, it is because admitting defeat feels like losing control. Control is very important to her emotional safety. At work, this trait can be seen during feedback or criticism. If a manager points out a mistake, she may first explain herself instead of accepting the mistake immediately. She wants to protect her image as someone capable and reliable. Later, when she is alone, she often reflects honestly. She may accept the mistake privately, but public admission is difficult. In competitive environments, her dislike of losing becomes stronger. Whether it is a presentation, a promotion, or a comparison between colleagues, she wants to come out on top. If she does not, she feels restless. She thinks about the situation repeatedly and imagines different outcomes. This mental repetition helps her prepare for the next challenge. In relationships, losing takes a more emotional form. She does not like feeling replaced, ignored, or second choice. If her partner gives more attention to someone else, she may feel deeply uncomfortable. Even small signs of emotional distance can feel like a loss to her. In arguments with a partner, she may struggle to say, "I was wrong." Instead, she may stay silent, change the subject, or use humor. This behavior is not manipulation, it is self-protection. Admitting defeat feels like lowering her guard. In social situations, her reaction to losing is often hidden. She keeps a calm face, but inside she feels a strong mix of frustration and motivation. Losing activates her inner fire. She wants to improve, to come back stronger, and to prove herself again. Over time, many Leo women learn an important lesson. Not every loss is a threat. Some losses create space for growth. When she learns to separate her value from the outcome, she becomes more balanced. She starts to see that admitting defeat does not make her weak, it makes her human. Still, this lesson usually comes with maturity and experience. Until then, her dislike of losing remains one of her strongest driving forces. It pushes her forward, keeps her alert, and fuels her desire to succeed. A Leo woman may struggle with defeat, but this struggle is also the source of her resilience. She has narcissistic traits and a strong need for admiration. A Leo woman often has narcissistic traits, but this does not mean she is selfish or incapable of love. These traits usually come from a strong need to feel seen, valued, and admired. She wants to feel special, not because she believes others are worthless, but because feeling important gives her emotional safety. From early life, many Leo women learn that attention equals love. When they receive praise, they feel secure. When they do not, they feel invisible. This pattern continues into adulthood. In daily life, this need for admiration shows itself in simple behaviors. She may enjoy compliments more than she admits. She likes when people notice her appearance, her ideas, or her achievements. If she shares good news and the reaction feels weak, she may feel disappointed. This disappointment is not about ego alone. It is about emotional validation. At work, a Leo woman often puts a lot of effort into what she does, and she expects recognition in return. When her work is ignored, she may feel frustrated or unmotivated. She may start to question her value, even if she knows she did a good job. This is where narcissistic traits appear more clearly. She wants her effort to be mirrored by appreciation. In social relationships, she may naturally take up space. She talks confidently, tells stories, and often becomes the center of attention without planning it. When the attention shifts away from her for too long, she may feel uncomfortable. She might interrupt, become louder, or try to regain focus. This is not manipulation in most cases. It is a learned response to emotional insecurity. In romantic relationships, this trait becomes more sensitive. A Leo woman wants to feel chosen and admired by her partner. She needs emotional reassurance. Compliments, loyalty, and pride are very important to her. If she feels ignored or taken for granted, her narcissistic side becomes defensive. She may demand attention or react with pride instead of vulnerability. Admitting that she needs reassurance can feel risky to her, so she hides it behind confidence. Another important aspect is how she reacts to criticism. Even gentle criticism can hurt her deeply. She may appear defensive, make excuses, or change the subject. Inside, she feels exposed. Criticism feels like a threat to her self-image. However, when delivered with respect and warmth, she can accept it over time. As she matures, many Leo women learn to balance this need for admiration. They begin to understand that their value does not disappear when attention fades. They learn to give admiration as much as they receive it. When balanced, these narcissistic traits turn into leadership, generosity, and strong presence. A Leo woman shines not because she demands attention, but because she learns to connect confidence with empathy. Her need for admiration, when understood, becomes a bridge, not a wall. She has strong pride and finds it very hard to forgive. A Leo woman has strong pride, and this pride plays a central role in how she reacts to emotional pain. When she feels hurt, it is not only the action itself that affects her, but the meaning behind it. She asks herself why it happened and what it says about how she is valued. Because of this, forgiving is not easy for her. Forgiveness requires vulnerability, and vulnerability feels risky to someone who protects their self-respect so carefully. In daily life, this can be seen in small situations. For example, if a friend makes a joke that feels disrespectful, a Leo woman may laugh in the moment but feel deeply uncomfortable later. She replays the scene in her mind and focuses on the lack of respect more than the joke itself. Even if the friend apologizes quickly, forgiveness does not come instantly. She needs time to feel emotionally safe again. At work, pride shows itself in professional boundaries. If a colleague takes credit for her ideas or speaks down to her, she may never forget it. She remains polite and professional, but an invisible wall appears. Trust becomes limited. Forgiving in this context feels like allowing the same wound to happen again. In romantic relationships, pride and forgiveness are deeply connected. When her partner hurts her, especially through disrespect, dishonesty, or emotional neglect, the pain cuts deep. She may forgive words, but not the feeling behind them. Saying I'm sorry is not enough for her. She needs to feel that the other person truly understands the damage done. Without that understanding, forgiveness feels empty. Because of her pride, she rarely begs for emotional repair. Instead, she becomes quieter. She distances herself emotionally while appearing calm on the outside. This silence is often misunderstood as coldness, but it is actually self-protection. She is deciding whether the relationship is still worthy of her emotional investment. Another example appears in family relationships. A Leo woman often feels a strong sense of dignity within her family role. If she feels disrespected or taken for granted, she may carry that feeling for years. She does not seek conflict, but she does not forget easily. Her pride remembers what her mouth never says. However, this pride is not only destructive, it also protects her from accepting behavior that hurts her repeatedly. Over time, many Leo women learn a balance between pride and forgiveness. They learn that forgiving does not mean forgetting or allowing the same pain again. It means releasing emotional weight. This lesson often comes after emotional exhaustion. When she realizes that holding on hurts her more than the original action, she slowly learns to let go. When forgiveness comes from a Leo woman, it is real and deep. It is not casual. It means she has decided that the relationship matters more than her wounded pride. This makes her forgiveness rare but powerful. A Leo woman's pride may delay forgiveness, but when she chooses it, she does so with strength, clarity, and self-respect. She is protective, possessive, and can become jealous when she cares. A Leo woman becomes deeply protective when she cares about someone. This protection comes from love, loyalty, and a strong sense of responsibility. She does not love halfway. When someone enters her emotional world, she feels that person is part of her inner circle. Because of this, she wants to protect what she values. In daily life, this can look warm and supportive. She checks in often. She remembers details. She stands up for the people she loves when they are not present. However, this same protective instinct can slowly turn into possessiveness. She may want to know where her partner is, who they spend time with, and how they feel. This is not always about control. It is about emotional security. She feels safe when she feels included. In friendships, this trait appears when she feels replaced or left out. If a close friend starts spending more time with someone else, a Leo woman may feel uncomfortable. She may not express it directly, but her mood can change. She becomes quieter or slightly distant. Inside, she feels a mix of sadness and jealousy. She asks herself if she still matters in that person's life. In romantic relationships, this possessiveness can become stronger. When she loves someone, she wants to feel like a priority. She enjoys public connection, shared moments, and emotional closeness. If her partner gives attention to others in a way that feels disrespectful, jealousy appears quickly. This jealousy is not always loud. Sometimes it shows through sarcasm, silence, or subtle comments. She may say she is fine, but emotionally, she is not. Another example appears in social situations. A Leo woman may feel uncomfortable when her partner is admired by others. Even if she trusts her partner, the attention from outsiders can feel threatening. This is because she values exclusivity in emotional bonds. She wants to feel special and chosen. However, her jealousy is closely connected to fear of losing importance, not fear of betrayal alone. When she feels secure, this side of her softens. When she feels appreciated and reassured, her possessiveness decreases naturally. She becomes generous and confident again. Over time, many Leo women learn to recognize this pattern. They begin to understand that love does not grow through control, but through trust. This learning process is not instant. It comes through experience, emotional pain, and reflection. When balanced, her protective nature becomes one of her most beautiful traits. She defends, supports, and uplifts the people she loves. She becomes someone others feel safe with, but when insecurity takes over, the same energy can feel heavy. A Leo woman's challenge is to protect without holding too tightly. When she learns this balance, her love becomes powerful, warm, and deeply loyal. She feels emotions dramatically and sometimes reacts in an exaggerated way. A Leo woman experiences emotions intensely, and this intensity often shows in how she reacts to situations. Her emotional world is vivid and strong. When she is happy, she is very happy. When she is hurt, the pain feels large and heavy. This does not mean she is unstable. It means she lives her feelings fully. In daily life, this can be seen in simple moments. For example, when something good happens, she wants to celebrate it properly. A small success deserves a big reaction. She laughs loudly, shares the news, and wants others to feel her joy. When something disappoints her, the reaction can also feel big. A delayed message, a canceled plan, or a cold tone can affect her mood deeply. She may react quickly before fully processing the situation. At work, this emotional intensity can create both strength and challenge. When she feels motivated and appreciated, her energy fills the room. She inspires others and brings excitement into projects. But when she feels ignored or criticized unfairly, her reaction may feel dramatic. She may speak passionately, raise her voice slightly, or express her frustration openly. Later, she often calms down and realizes her reaction was stronger than the situation required. In relationships, this trait becomes even more visible. A Leo woman loves deeply and expects emotional honesty. When she feels loved, she gives warmth, attention, and passion. When she feels emotionally hurt, her reaction can feel sudden. She may cry, become silent, or express anger. These reactions come from fear of losing connection, not from a desire to create conflict. She wants to be understood immediately. Another daily example appears in expectations. A Leo woman often imagines how moments should feel. Birthdays, conversations, important talks, all carry emotional meaning. When reality does not match her expectation, disappointment feels stronger. She may feel let down even if others did not intend harm. Her reaction may seem exaggerated, but inside it feels logical and real to her. Over time, many Leo women learn to slow down their reactions. They learn that not every emotional wave needs an immediate response. This learning usually comes through repeated misunderstandings. When she sees that her strong reactions sometimes push people away, she starts to reflect. She begins to pause, breathe, and choose her words more carefully. However, her dramatic emotional nature never fully disappears. It becomes more controlled, not smaller. This emotional expressiveness is also what makes her exciting to be around. She brings life, color, and energy into relationships. Conversations with her are rarely boring. Moments feel meaningful. A Leo woman feels deeply because she cares deeply. When people around her understand this, they stop seeing her reactions as drama and start seeing them as honesty. Her challenge is not to feel less, but to respond with awareness. When she finds this balance, her emotional intensity becomes one of her most magnetic qualities. She is emotionally generous and often gives more than she receives. A Leo woman is emotionally generous by nature. When she cares about someone, she gives freely and fully. She does not measure love in small amounts. Her support, time, attention, and energy flow easily toward the people she values. This generosity often appears quietly in daily life. She remembers important dates, asks how someone is feeling, and notices changes in mood. She offers encouragement when others feel unsure and celebrates their success as if it were her own. For her, giving emotional support feels natural, not forced. In friendships, this trait is very clear. A Leo woman often becomes the strong one, the listener, the motivator. Friends come to her when they need confidence or comfort. She enjoys being that person. It makes her feel useful and connected. However, this role can slowly become heavy. When she gives too much and receives too little, she starts to feel drained. She may not complain immediately, but inside she begins to feel unbalanced. At work, her emotional generosity shows through loyalty and commitment. She supports team members, helps others succeed, and takes responsibility beyond what is required. She often stays longer, works harder, and cares more than others expect. When this effort is appreciated, she feels fulfilled. When it is ignored, disappointment appears. She may feel taken for granted. In romantic relationships, this trait becomes even stronger. A Leo woman gives warmth, reassurance, and devotion. She wants her partner to feel confident and loved. She encourages their dreams and stands by them during difficult times. Sometimes, she puts her partner's needs before her own. This self-sacrifice feels noble to her at first, but over time it can create resentment if not balanced. Another daily example appears in emotional conflict. Even when she is hurt, she often tries to fix the situation. She may apologize first, soften her words, or reach out to reconnect. This does not mean she was wrong. It means she values harmony and connection. However, constantly giving in this way can make her feel emotionally tired. Over time, many Leo women learn an important lesson about boundaries. They begin to understand that generosity should not mean self-loss. Giving is beautiful, but only when it is mutual. When she learns to protect her emotional energy, her generosity becomes healthier. She still gives deeply, but she also expects respect and care in return. This balance allows her to shine without burning out. A Leo woman's emotional generosity is one of her most admirable traits. It creates warmth, loyalty, and strong bonds, but it must be matched with appreciation. When her giving is valued, she becomes even more radiant. When it is ignored, she slowly withdraws. Understanding this side of her helps others connect with her in a more respectful and lasting way. She has natural leadership and inspires others without trying. A Leo woman has a natural leadership quality that often appears without effort. She does not always plan to lead, but people naturally look to her for direction, confidence, and reassurance. This leadership does not come from control or authority. It comes from presence. When she enters a room, people notice her energy. She speaks with clarity, stands with confidence, and carries herself with purpose. This makes others feel guided, even when she says very little. In daily life, this leadership can appear in small moments. For example, during uncertainty, she often becomes calm and decisive. When others hesitate, she moves forward. This gives people around her a sense of safety. They feel that someone knows what to do. At work, this trait becomes very clear. Even if she does not have an official leadership role, others often follow her ideas. She takes initiative, organizes tasks naturally, and motivates people through enthusiasm rather than pressure. Her confidence helps others believe in themselves. In friendships, her leadership shows as emotional strength. When friends feel lost, confused, or insecure, they often turn to her. She listens, gives encouragement, and reminds them of their value. She does not always give perfect advice, but her belief in others is powerful. She sees potential and speaks it out loud. This alone can change how someone feels about themselves. In romantic relationships, her leadership becomes emotional guidance. She often sets the emotional tone of the relationship. When she feels secure and appreciated, the relationship feels alive and warm. When she feels unsupported, the energy drops. This is because her emotional state strongly influences the shared space. Another important aspect of her leadership is inspiration. A Leo woman inspires by example. She works hard, believes in herself, and stands tall after failure. People notice this resilience. Even when she struggles privately, she presents strength publicly. This does not mean she never doubts herself. She does, but she chooses to move forward anyway. This courage inspires others to do the same. Over time, many Leo women become aware of this influence. They realize that their words and actions matter more than they thought. With maturity, this awareness becomes responsibility. She learns to lead with kindness, not ego. She understands that real leadership is not about being admired, but about lifting others. This is where her personality reaches its highest form. Her confidence becomes generosity. Her ambition becomes guidance. Her strength becomes inspiration. A Leo woman does not need a title to be a leader. She leads through presence, belief, and emotional courage. When people look back at their lives, they often remember her as someone who made them feel stronger, braver, and more visible. This is her greatest power. And this is why, at her best, a Leo woman does not just shine, she lights the way for others.
Congratulations. You did a great job today. You stayed focused, you listened carefully, and you followed a long and detailed English listening practice. This is not easy, and you should be proud of yourself. Many people stop early, but you continued until the end. That shows discipline and motivation. Today, you listened to a full episode about the hidden traits of a Leo woman. You learn new ideas, new expressions, and new ways to describe personality, emotions, and daily behavior. You also practiced understanding English through real life examples, not just simple sentences. This kind of listening helps your brain think in English more naturally. By finishing this video, you train your listening skills, your attention, and your patience. These are very important skills when learning a language. Every minute you spend listening brings you one step closer to fluency. Even if you did not understand every word, that is completely normal. Understanding the general meaning is already a big success. Remember, progress does not happen in one day. It happens with small, repeated efforts like this. Today was one of those important steps. Tomorrow, it will be a little easier. Your confidence will grow, and English will start to feel more familiar. If you enjoyed this listening practice, please let us know in the comments. You can also share this video with a friend who wants to improve their English. Your support means a lot to us. And if you want to continue practicing, don't forget to subscribe and check our other playlists for different levels and topics. Thank you for listening until the end. You are doing amazing work. Keep going, stay curious, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye and take care.